Hey, 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 it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having a fabulous and productive day. Hey, y'all, so this is an update in regards to the Jay-Z versus Tony Busby defamation case out of California, Los Angeles Superior Court. Shout out to Megan Conniff because I just happened to pass through her Instagram and noticed that there was an update on the court docket. So I was like, let me just go ahead and make an update instead of pulling the records myself. So we're going to tap right on into it. So it appears that an investigator, I'm just going to say that an investigator has filed a declaration to support uh, Jay Z's ex parte application to get rid of Busby's motion to strike. I know that was a lot, but if you have to hear it again, just rewind. But one of the investigators filed this declaration into the court, and it reads, I make this declaration in support of plaintiff's ex parte application in connection with defendant's special motion to strike. So in this California case, Jay Z is the plaintiff, Busby is the defendant. And Busby is trying to strike parts of Jay Z's amended complaint. Unless otherwise noted, I have personal knowledge of the facts stated herein, and if called if called upon to testify, I could and would competently testify thereto. I am a licensed private investigator. I was not hired by plaintiff or plaintiff's attorneys to perform the investigation I described in this declaration. What? I was not hired by the plaintiff or plaintiff's attorney to perform the investigation I described. If Jay-Z didn't hire you, then who hired you? Now my will's turning, and we're gonna take this out. We're not gonna talk about Jay-Z or John Doe. If Who conducts an investigation on a case that they're not involved in directly? Either you're hired by the plaintiff's attorney or you are hired by the defendant's attorney. So who hired you? Now this makes me go back to the MJ Legal, where Jessica Santiago and another investigator went to Gerardo um, Garcia's house in Maldonado, and they currently have lawsuits against MJ Legal, Jessica Santiago, Rock Nation in regards to this very same thing. Investigators coming up out of nowhere. Now, in those cases, those investigators identified themselves as either an investigator of the state of Texas or some other entity, and they stated that they work directly with MJ Legal. Thus, the reason why MJ Legal is also brought into those lawsuits. So this is interesting. Number two, on Friday, February 21st, 2025, along with investigator James Butler. I've seen that name somewhere. When I get finished with this, I'm going to go into the other filings in those cases, and I'm going to see if this name is associated with. And if so, I'm going to come back and do another video. So on Friday, February 21st, 2025, along with investigator James Butler, I met with plaintiff Jane Doe, the person on whose behalf defendants filed the lawsuit captioned as Jane Doe versus Sean Combs ETAL, case number 24 CV 07975 in the Southern District of New York on October 20th, 2024. To protect Ms. Doe's privacy and identity, I am not disclosing here her name or any other facts that enable me to conclude the woman I met was, in fact, Ms. Doe. We met with Ms. Doe on the front porch of her home in Alabama. Ms. Doe confirmed that she was, in fact, the Jane Doe plaintiff in the lawsuit. How did y'all find her? And why? If the case is dismissed with prejudice, why are you going looking for her? Miss Doe, Mr. Butler, and I were the only ones present. Let me write this name down because I think I know exactly what case that is. Throughout our discussion, Miss Doe appeared calm and at ease. She maintained a natural demeanor and engaged in conversation freely. Miss Doe's body language, including her nodding, relaxed posture, and steady tone of voice, reinforced that she did not feel scared or intimidated during our interaction. At no point during our interaction did Miss Doe request to be left alone. During our conversation, Miss Doe told me, among other things, the following facts. The AVA Law Group referred her to defendant Tony Busby and his law firm. Miss Doe met Mr. Busby for the first time in Houston. He paid to fly her there. Their meeting to discuss the case took place when Miss Doe flew out for an interview that Mr. Busby had arranged with Miss Doe to give to NBC News in Mr. Busby's office. Jane Doe stated to me that Mr. Carter did not actually assault her. Jane Doe stated to me that she originally told Mr. Busby that she had been raped by Sean Combs, and a world renowned female celebrity was also present for the assault, and that Mr. Busby suggested that she claimed that Mr. Carter was another rapist. Jane Doe stated Mr. Busby brought Jay Z into it, and he was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him with Jay Z. Jane Doe said that Mr. Busby asked her if Mr. Carter had been at the party. Miss Doe told Mr. Busby that Mr. Carter, was at the party, but she told me that Mr. Carter did not partake in any actual assault of Miss Doe. Jane Doe confirmed the following regarding Mr. Carter during the interview. Jay-Z has had nothing to do with this, correct? Right? Other than he was at the party that you were at, so I mean, he did not assault you. No. He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with the actual acts towards you. Yeah. Jane Doe said to me that lawyers at Mr. Busby's law firm told her that if she pursued Mr. Carter, she would get a payout. Miss Doe said to me that shortly before Mr. Busby dismissed the lawsuit against Mr. Carter, Mr. Busby told Miss Doe that Mr. Carter was threatening to unalive her in. Oh, darn, it doesn't show that. Unalive her. I need to get this. I might do a second show. Miss Doe stated 4 times that Mr. Carter did not assault her. After Miss Doe had voluntarily and consistently affirmed this, we inquired whether she would be open to signing an affidavit reflecting what she told us. She responded by saying, "But how does this help me?" The end. All right, so we have a declaration of Jane Doe, and she states that it did happen, and she fears for her life, and she's intimidated. This is another declaration from an investigator that was not hired by the plaintiff, not hired by the plaintiff's attorney. The court is going to want to know. Now I understand, but who hired you? This I'm trying to get y'all to see. I don't care what type of case this is. You're submitting a declaration from an investigator that neither side hired. This is questionable. Now, another thing, they stated that would she be open to sign an affidavit? If that was the case, what was the process? Did she sign it? Did she not sign it? Well, obviously she didn't sign it because I'm assuming if she did sign it, then they would actually include the affidavit in this particular case. And they would have attached that affidavit as an exhibit when they drafted and submitted the original petition in the Alabama case. So Now we have two questions. No, it's not even two questions. We have two declarations. One from Jane Doe, one from an investigator who was not hired by the plaintiff nor the plaintiff's attorney. I just want I take out all the characters in this and think about the procedure. Now, declaration is something when I even notarize these, they have to take oaths that everything that they state is truthful. So just like they take an oath on the stand, when I notarize these documents, I have to state the oath and they have to tell me whether or not, you know, um they have to give me their answer that they understand. So a declaration, even though it's not notarized, it holds the same value because with a where's my notary stuff? With an affidavit, you are saying the contents in this document is true and correct. Under God. That's what it is. Under God, right? When you're dealing with a declaration, it's more along the lines of under my, it's like I put that on my life that, you know how people say that. I put that on my life that everything in this document is true and correct. Okay, so that's the difference. So with an affidavit, under God. In a declaration, I put that on my mama or I put that on myself. I hope that is like the best, simplest terms I can put that in. So think about that. Think about the declarations and who submitted these declarations. Tell me what y'all think about this in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, you all be blessed and I'm out. Bye.